This is Dr. Trashbag, and today I'm playing Aria, and this is the boss battle at day 50. If you beat him, you win. If you don't win, um, you basically get another 25 days until you get to fight him again. I think it's 25, maybe it's 50. I'm pretty sure it's 25. For rebels, I don't have much in terms of tech. I went in and I got a few things to get some more rebels because they were just um, dying pretty quickly. But when I start a game, I pretty much go down this way to get increased resupply, stockpile loot. Um, that way, in trade, I'll be more likely to get the Tauran rebels, which give me the best in terms of price modifier. In terms of what rebels I'm going to choose, I always choose rocketeers, rocket infantry first, and then burst rifle infantry or machine gunners second. Um, that should really help out. And I did go full tech for the missile units, so that will help with accuracy, reload time, and an extra 150 explosion damage. So they should be clearing out a lot of items there for me. So early on, I went straight for cyclone control first and got the extra cyclone aircraft damage by 75%. They can shoot both land and air, and they're just constantly shooting, versus the bomber can only hit ground, and the aircraft here, the interceptor, most of the time, the interceptor's flying around. He's not shooting most of the time, so I go with cyclone. And then I go for guardian and shields, guardian and rangers pretty early on. In update 1.4, they added a lot of things for rangers, so I definitely put a lot of points into rangers. And I don't know if I want that one. But here, there's a increased chance to dodge. Rangers get up to 45% chance to dodge, and it'll negate any damage. If they do dodge, there's a 50% chance that it will the ranger will also shoot, doing 35 damage. Not bad, but relatively expensive. You get the commander building a little bit more health, sure. Increase the number of ranger droids deployed up to 10. You definitely want to get that. It's interesting because you only have 36, and so if I get 4 towers, I get 40, but only 36 can be on the ground at a time. This will, of course, increase health. This will increase armor. This will increase regenerative health. This will give 5% chance to fire a lightning arrow that explodes in lightning on impact, dealing 50 damage in a 50-meter radius. The lightning can jump to enemies behind the explosion, dealing 50 damage on hit and 200 damage to enemy shields struck by lightning. So really good for crowd control and really good against shields. Rangers receive 2.5 chance to fire a wildfire arrow that explodes on impact, dealing 75 damage in a 9-meter radius. The explosion ignites a fire and spreads across the ground, burning for up to 20 seconds. Enemies caught in the fire suffer 15 damage per second. These lightning and fires are, I noticed them in battle, and battle is pretty chaotic. And so this seems to be a pretty good upgrade. I pretty much maxed out shield. That's really handy to get. I would like to get some of these items here, but I just need to save up money to get more cyclones before doing the major battle. I went for time warp. I went pretty heavy into it to kind of give myself some time to think. And sometimes the battles get a little crazy. For weapons, I went for the Ravager and the Cleaver. This one's pretty cheap, and it's pretty good overall, especially when you get an extra 2 shells. Next time I might try just to do the Punisher. That way I don't have to go through 2 extra weapons. Maybe this I can make do. The only issue is this gun is really good for all of the aircraft missions. There seems to be a lot more aircraft missions, I have noticed. Luckily, the rebels and the archers kind of help out there. Alright, and then what else? I went down for the striker. I messed up and I bought one of the large building slots, and I could have used that money somewhere else, but wasn't able to get them all there. Also, for Sentinels, they're just way too expensive for what you get. They are powerful, but you have to put a lot of resources in them to make them actually useful. And so, you know, if they had another boss at wave 75 or wave 100, which I think they totally should do. They should increase how many bosses there are, and then I would totally go down Sentinels to kind of help out. But I'm gonna use my Rebels, which are basically all machine and rocketeers, and I'm going to take on Overlord Hellrock. Oh, and also don't forget about the Forge. I upgraded my machine gunner to legendary. I could go up, but sometimes, you know, it could mess up. So every bullet's doing 8 to 23 damage. I think I'm shooting like, I don't know, 100 to 300 bullets before I need to reload. Same thing with the cleaver. I got legendary and I kind of just stopped. It's really not a lot of money to redo it. Anyways, let's go ahead and go. Let's see if we can beat the hero first try. Oh yeah, and I'm playing on brutal. So that should make this pretty difficult. Although what I've noticed is when you're playing on higher difficulties, the normal missions are actually more difficult. See, here's that extra slot that I shouldn't have purchased. I mean, I could have had another 500 energy and all those cores. We need some more cyclones. Let's just go all cyclones. And if I have more, I'll just get even more cyclones. Alright, we're at 24. I think somewhere at 24, 26, 28 is when kind of start to get less of a efficiency with cyclones. Wow, I am one away. Oh well. All my cyclones are doing a good amount of damage there, and my strikers are doing a good amount of range damage. I believe debuffing the boss as well, taking another 25% damage in terms of damage there. Alright, looks like my shields are already getting kind of low. I'm just going to concentrate on the boss. I'm just expecting that my towers and units can take on the enemy. Let's slow down. Let's make sure there's nothing crazy. Okay, cool. And I effectively use this ability. Well, it's kind of not over land. It's kind of hard to. Oh, my shields went down. That's not good. Wow, I just got a lot more money, so I think that means I can probably get some more cyclones to kind of help out. Oh, that's it. Okay. That's all I'm gonna get. Alright, his shield's coming up. What do we have here? We should get this. We should get that. Our arrows going. Now, we do have the Rangers and Guardians pretty well leveled up. Slow things down to kind of what's going on. Yeah, the striker is really good for shield because almost all of them will hit a will hit a shield. Yeah, it is spread out, but the shield encompasses a lot of area, so all the bullets for the striker was used. All right, repop the shield. Yeah, see, with all that ranger upgrade, we're actually keeping back all of that infantry that's constantly being shuttled down. And looky there, even on playing on brutal, I was able to take him down first try by focusing on what's really cost effective. There's a lot of fun things to do in this game, but if you want to win on brutal, you have to kind of focus on what needs to be done. And I think actually, where is it? On Steam, there was actually a pretty good review. Community, no, I need to go to library first. Oh, who's playing Total War? Okay. Taur, you go to Community Hub, and I think this guy made a pretty good guide. Dijin. I pretty much agree with everything that he says. Troop supply trading with rebels. This perk is triggered per transaction. Now, I think in version 1.4 that got changed because I tried this thing here where I would buy one core at a time, but getting an extra rebel or however many you get with that one trade point, it did not work. It only worked once per turn. So I think they updated that for 1.4. Shotgun secondary fire. You know what? This was a really good help. I usually go all the way to the rocket, which the rocket is very helpful. But for cost effectiveness, I think the shotgun's really good because that's like one or two weapons that you're not spending money on that you're probably not going to really use. On a harder difficulty, fallen aircraft are a real issue. It really is. That's just something that you're going to have to play with when to shoot down aircraft. And sometimes it's just so hectic you don't know what's really going on. And so you may want to upgrade some of your important buildings' health. Your main, you're going to definitely want to build there. Go ahead and pause if you want to see all this. I think it'd be easier if I can go into Infinity War to kind of show what I'm talking about. Okay, that's nice. You gonna let me play? Yeah, that's actually a good amount of money that I got there. Day 51. Yeah, and then you can just keep on playing, but eventually it just gets so ridiculous. So you're going to want to definitely build up your main structure. I got mine up to 400, and then I didn't really have an issue. But if you keep it at 100 health, you're going to die a lot just because you're going to have an airplane fall into you and kill you. And then I think I only put one in here, so just to kind of slowly heal my main tower. Because if your main tower dies, you lose. There's actually been several games where pretty much all of my towers and units and rebels died, but I was able to kill the last enemies with my Ravager and my Cleaver. Let's go back to that reading thing. Yep. Guardians, yeah, you can only have 60. And you can level it up to have 10 Guardians per tower. So you just need 6 of the towers, and that's pretty effective. Cyclones, you can have unlimited cap. He's recommending stopping at around 24. Yeah, that sounds good. After having about 24 Cyclones, 6 Guardians, and 4 Rangers, the rest you can kind of miss and match some other towers in there. Ages, shield, yeah, shield, you only need 1, and it's definitely something you want to focus on. Blue Crystal for life, you're going to need 100 of them, so buy whenever the rebels can get you some, which is also helpful, because if you have the point in the rebel tech, let's see, where is it? I believe it is here. Yeah, good relation, so every time you buy, or buy something from the trade, you get an extra 1 rebel, and then you can upgrade this to be 4. Okay, and then weapon, Rush Cleaver. Yeah, That was something that I found actually due to this guy's thing here. I usually go for the missile, and so actually I probably should have gone for cleaver a little bit sooner because it's pretty cost effective. It's just yeah, it's just one away because you start with Tempest, so you just go wham bam, get that, and then maybe spend 1 or 2 points to get an extra few shots. But the thing is, it does a good amount of damage, and you get 3 shots, and it reloads really fast, so you are constantly using it, and I'm sure you saw that in that battle there. Use it against all fillers as they approach the tower. You will find over time what works best, and actually I found out using it against shield units is really good because the shield takes up so much space, and since the cleaver is a shotgun, almost all the shots hit the shields, and so it takes down the shields really fast. Yep, it pops shields even max range. Yep, I agree. Beware of the spread of shots. Give it a sec or two and refocus before firing again. Yeah, because if you shoot multiple times in a row, it's going to be more and more inaccurate, so you want to wait a little bit. Structures, Rust 4 Guardian hubs out ASAP. They kind of guard your main tower. It's pretty helpful. I tend to rush Cyclones first, but Guardians can also be a good one to go for. Get the 6 Guardian hub. When you can afford it, do not build more than 6. Rush Ags ASAP, because they can be done by wave 6. Getting this before your last 2 Guardians can be a call if you have the materials. Okay. Avoid getting weaponized structures until wave 28. Recommend weaponized structures in this priority. Sam's, Talos, your choice of massive on hard. It can afford 3 or 4. Build from the outer ring inward. I didn't do this. Maybe I can try that next time. You don't want your hubs taking damage aim at your primary tower. It also makes it harder for the enemy to hit any at all since they aim up. That's something I need to try. I always build inner ring out, so I'll try that next time. Trade. If it's not done with the rebel, it's a waste of money. Yeah, I agree, because if you noticed here, if you go to trade, price modifier is 125%. Here it's 400%. Here it's 250%. So this just adds a little 25% there. So yeah, you wanna buy and sell from there. And if you can't get it from there, you might want to see if you can just wait. I have a stockpile of some crystals. I could have totally sold some and purchased some of these standard power cores, to be honest. But I still won, so it's fine. Trade. Try to avoid selling. You'll want approximately 20 red cores, 6 massive, and damn near 100 plus of everything below them. Yeah, you're going to need a lot of the standard power cores, and you're going to need a lot of these astral crystals and stellar crystals, and you're going to need a few of these prime crystals too. I think he said about 20. I pretty much agree there. Abilities, time warp is a no-brainer. It's literally your moment to fix something. Yeah, sometimes I pop this just because there's so much going on and I need to kind of understand what's going on. Shield recharge, yeah, you need that ASAP because, yeah, it's like a +1 on your life. It completely restores your shields, avoid leveling the duration of the tech. Yeah, you want to get it to where you can reuse it as quick as possible for wave 50. That is important to get. Repair. This is a comfort blanket for recovery. So pretty much if my shields are down for 3, 5, or more seconds, I'll use the repair because my towers probably got hit. Flare. You know what? This guy says flare isn't that useful, but I maxed it up to 50% extra damage, and I got to use it 2 or 3 times in the boss battle, and I think it made a big difference, doing 50% more damage. And I am assuming it's working not just on my main turrets, but also my minor turrets and my units. Rebels are nice. I don't focus on them too much, but I do tend to go to their tech and get some of the really cheap ones because some of these just require power. They don't require any of the cores, and so for those I'll get earlier just to get some more units, because for the longest time I didn't even have a full platoon. But eventually I got it to where I'm getting 4 per turn, and every time I trade I get another 4, and then now I have 3 full platoons now with some backup units. But I would recommend going first, getting some of these, actually going to this where when you trade you get more. And look, it's only power to upgrade, and some of these are just like 25 to 50 power. They're pretty inexpensive. Getting the spoils of war is really good because it gives extra like 200% more resupply from the Turon rebels, which is really helpful. And then I went for the missile unit. I bet that really helped with the boss because he's just a huge vehicle, and it's hard for the rockets to miss that huge vehicle. An extra 150 explosion damage. Heck yeah. Let's go back to the reading. Yeah, pretty much ignore them until you're getting your shield. Sure. Rush plus rebels on trade. I agree. Omnisaur for Skyfall missions, and rocket launchers are the compositions you want. You can argue the case for Gunner plus Grenadier plus Commissar are the best for Skyfall, but not worth the effort for making dedicated squad. Yeah, it's easier just to focus on rocket launcher. Maybe next time I can try Commissar as well, because I think the Commissars buff all the 4 units next to it. So that might be something I could look into, but I didn't do that. Tech, initially you want to stretch out your shotgun grenadiers, shotgun guardians, time warp, cyclones, shield, rebel troops on trade, shield recharge in that order. Of course, that order can change depending on what resources you get. It might be smart to shuffle some of those order, but that's a general rule of thumb. Pumping up the shield to 1k once you have enough cyclones to relieve you of having to do the legwork yourself is advised. On hard or harder difficulty, I recommend considering structure HP upgrades 1 and 2 on wave 35 up. Yeah, that was really difficult. They would just kill a lot of my towers, but the main thing is I upgraded my main tower. Sentinels, I didn't even touch because they're so expensive. You can get a lot more bang for your buck if you don't use any money on your Sentinels, which is kind of sad because the Sentinels look pretty cool and they do a lot of great damage, but you have to stick a lot of resources in them. And then there's the rationale. I think he's just pretty much saying the same thing, but kind of giving a little bit more explanation. Just some logic. Be aware. That's just how I found things how to work. And I played on brutal, and I was able to beat the boss first try. Priority is damage for weapons, downtime, reload clip, multitask. You want to. So he went for the default cannon. So maybe I might have to change that next time. But he does say that he has trouble with the aircraft missions, and the minigun weapon is really good against aircraft. But I guess you can always help yourself out there by getting some SAMs instead of all repeaters, which is what I did. The shotgun is cheap and it does reload fast, and it's so good to use. Yeah, I agree. It was really nice. Structures. The weaponized towers are too low in rate of fire and damage to counter the Air Force hubs. Yeah, so you want to go for Cyclones and pretty much Cyclones, Guardians, and Rangers, and that's about it. Unit hubs, Guardians just act as surplus shield as well as prevent things from running under the shield. More importantly, they're so cheap and you upgrade them to 10 per hub, the slot efficiency. Yep, very nice. The Air Force bomber can't shoot. The fighter can't shoot for about 80% of its flight path until he realigns. So he's not that good. The Cyclone is the best because it shoots most of the time. It's a decent long range, and the rate of fire is pretty good. So I would go with Cyclones. Since he went with the main where is it? Since he just stayed with the Punisher and probably upgraded it here, get some more shots up to 5 instead of 3. You're doing more damage to armored units, and you can knock back infantry. He's probably having issues with Air Force or air missions. So he went with a lot of SAM type buildings, and I think that's why he went that way. Whereas I went with the minigun. The turret costs too much to unlock and develop, and it's not give that much of a spike. Oh, the huge turrets, yeah, they are pretty expensive, not only to unlock and to level up, but also their building slot to open up. And I accidentally opened one up. I could have used that um, resources for something else. So I could have had another, 5 cyclones or something else upgraded if I didn't make that mistake. But oh well. Rebels, scouts, it takes 45 seconds to kill a grunt, so it's not that good. Grenadiers, they can't shoot at aircraft, so they're not good, especially for that end game, which was mainly aircraft. Machine gunner can shoot up at aircraft and on land units, and they pepper oncoming swarms. They're pretty good. The rocket launcher is even better because it can shoot at very long range and kill enemies right when they drop at their spawn. Great on vehicles and great on large units and swarm of units. So it's really good. Commissar, he doesn't really like them, but basically just upgrade the rocket launchers. And that's what I did. And I definitely had a great time doing that. Trading, you can read that. Sentinels, they cost too much for what you get. All right. Well, thanks to what was the author's name again? Thanks to Dijon, however you pronounce that. I tried a different way and I was able to beat it on brutal. So yeah, fun game. I enjoyed it, and that's the end of my episode. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.